Joe, let's just do a quick bit of squad news ahead of it. So Sam Finley's available again after his suspension. Anybody picked up a knock or anybody else back who hasn't been available?
Leon Clark's back into contention. So yeah, really positive signs. Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that's great for him because certainly straight after the injury there was some fear that it could be potentially career ending or certainly very serious. So great that he's come back relatively quickly.
Yeah, more career ending due to the stage of his career he was at. Long-term injury coming off the back of it. Swindon, Shrewsbury, where he'd had a similar setback. And you just didn't know whether the kind of motivation would have been there to do the rehabilitation and come back. But credit to Leon, he's worked tirelessly, and he's still got a lot to contribute. He's come back into the fold, and since he got injured in I think about the September, October, we kind of haven't had a recognised number 9. And then as it is, kind of like London buses, you weirdly you sign one, and then all of a sudden the one you had in the building originally comes back into contention. So really nice option to have, and pleased to see him back, and credit to his rehabilitation and his desire to come and contribute to the football club.
And it is that competition for place as well, because with Sam available again, you look at midfield and all of a sudden you've got different options, whereas 6 weeks ago you were basically down to bare bones in a lot of areas. Yeah,
I mean, that's what you want in any healthy team, any healthy environment. You have competition running right throughout it. So it's been lots of times this season we haven't had the numbers to be able to do that, but now we're starting to get it, and I only think that'll be a good thing for team performance.
And on the back of the win at the weekend, the sort of the manner and the nature of it with the late goals, has there been a bit more of a buzz around the club? Obviously not having played for so long before that, and then the cup defeat to Peterborough.
No, not really. No, we were, probably a bit harsh on ourselves in terms of the aftermath of the game, in terms of our performance. We're obviously, reaching a stage now where we're not just happy winning games. And if you looked at the club maybe in the past, that any way of winning a game is maybe really important. But for us, it's not only winning, that is important, and getting those wins are massive. But obviously there's an element of control and a desire to improve that underpins all that. So we want to win every single week, but for us it's about getting better and continuing that process. And Saturday's game for us is an opportunity to test ourselves against one of the best footballing sides in the division.
Yeah, and in terms of that test, you're in a much better position, I would think, certainly from the outside going into it, than perhaps you were then on a game where the score eventually reflected it, but they looked to be in control of that match for a long period of time.
Yeah, they were really good, really competent on the ball, and beat us relatively comfortably in our own stadium, which obviously didn't sit too well with us at the time, and doesn't sit particularly well with us now. But I think we've progressed as a team. I think we're certainly a much more balanced outfit now. We've got the best out in front of us is my belief, and we're in a position now where, as you rightly point out, we feel we can certainly go to these stadiums against kind of the sides that have had a good start to the early part of the season, and probably show a slightly different look than what we did when we faced them in the early part of the season. For us, it's about improving, and those marginal gains that we feel we're making as a team are starting to pay us back in results, because there was no way, in previous spells with the group as it's been developing, that we've been able to maybe not fire on all cylinders and not only keep clean sheets, but certainly take maximum points out the game. And I think Saturday was a prime example of that. A game that was probably going to be a draw. They had a number of opportunities. We had a number of opportunities, and we've got belief in the quality of our players, that if we're given those opportunities, we'll take them. And Aaron Collins does that for us and beats their goalkeeper. And for Hartlepool, the boy Cullen doesn't manage to beat Belly. So, the game flips on that. And then obviously Andy Evans's individual quality puts the cherry and the icing on the top of that cake and gives us that 2-0 victory. So we're moving in the right direction. and again, it's another tough test for us at Swindon on Saturday.
And as you look at the table, it's a bit skewed by the fact that the teams have played varying numbers of games because of COVID and all the rest of it. But do you sort of set yourselves targets? Do you have a sense of what it would take to get yourself either into the playoff mix, or if it goes really well, into the automatic mix?
I think you've got to win the next game. For us, it's just about what's in front of us in the next game. Swindon are out in front of us, good side, fourth in the table, 14th in the form table. We know what a good side they are from when we played them, but also we think we're in a position to certainly start to go on a bit of a decent run and showcase what we're about as a group. So, I'm really looking forward to the second half of the season. But again, they just come at one game at a time, albeit the next few weeks they're going to come relatively thick and fast because a lot of Saturday, Tuesdays. So. If we keep winning the next game and then the next game, then eventually the leaderboard or the league table will take care of itself.